Hey there, gang. Welcome back to Papa's Model Workshop. I'm Papa. This is my workshop. So in the last video, I showed you that I put the silver base back down on the Corvette that I have been working on. So here it is, okay? And the silver came out rather nicely, okay? And I said that I was going to wait until the next video to shoot the clear blue onto the Corvette. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to run back to the workshop and do that. Have a little housekeeping to do. You know that. So first off, let me mention my sponsor, Kaleido and Gallery. Kaleido Paints and Gallery. All right. Actually, they're having a big sale right now. So now is a terrific time. If you're thinking of getting an airbrush, check out their prices and then check the sale price. And if you get something on sale, you know what? You can add another 10% off of the price, okay, with my discount right there, PPMW. All right, how's that for good news? Seriously though, they're really having a terrific sale, and they have established a presence on Amazon. And I am in the process of getting involved with the Amazon store. I just got my code this morning. It has to still be set up, so I'm hoping that gets done pretty soon. Okay, so anyway, let's see. Mark Maroney, he was asking about 3D printing. I'm going to tell you the truth, Mark. I don't know a whole lot about 3D printing. I actually have two 3D printers, believe it or not, and I don't know much about 3D printing. Well, you know what it is? The 3D printer is actually pretty simple to use. It's setting everything up on the laptop that I'm finding some difficulty with. You have to purchase files from a provider. Okay, for example, my provider is Cults 3D. Okay, and if you look that up, it's spelled C-U-L-T-S, Cults 3D, and you can purchase 3D files from there. And then from there, you have to have a platform that's called a slicer. Now, the one that I have is called Lychee, and I think the proper spelling on that is L-Y-C-H-E-E. I think that's the proper spelling. And when you are going about making a part or a car body, in your 3D printer, you have something called a build plate, all right? And it's basically a metal plate that goes down like this into a pool of liquid resin, all right? And then, when you get the information from the computer and, you transfer it over to the 3D printer, that build plate, when it goes down into that liquid resin, it builds it line by line, okay, according to the computer input. And you need to have a little bit of knowledge about how to set this thing up on the computer, and that's where I'm kind of falling a little bit short. It's not that difficult. I'm sure a lot of people do it. I just have not taken the time to sit down and actually look into it. I'll tell you where to go. Check out Scale Model Experiment with James Tester. He is really on the cutting edge of the 3D part of the hobby, so go check him out. There's another platform called Scale Speed Garage, where you can actually purchase 3D files just like on Cults 3D, but my understanding is this site will also teach you the basics of 3D printing. So you might want to go check that out, Scale Speed Garage, okay? What else do we have here? John Pilster. Now, I have a very good friend, John Pilger, okay? This is John Pilster, all right? So I don't want to get the two of them confused. This is a different John. Anyway, John was having fitment issues. And I think he was getting a little bit frustrated. Now, I'm going to go into this question a little bit more in another video because I get a lot of questions just like this. But in short, John, when parts and so forth don't fit, the reality is that's model building. You know, the most common, I'm not sure what your fitment issue is, but one of the more common issues is where you're trying to get a piece together and you're trying to get the peg to go into the pilot hole. A lot of times that pilot hole is too small. A pin vise will help you out with that. Now, I don't know if that's your issue or not, but that's just one generic example. But I'll go into this in more detail in another video. All right, so I think that's about as much as I have here right now. Oh, and my friend Ken from Model Building and Retirement, he sent me a message and he said that he likes my intro. So there you go. Okay, so Ken, thanks so much for that. I appreciate it. Check him out, Model Building in Retirement. He's got a really great channel. I watch his channel and I learn a lot of stuff from Ken. It'll be worth your while to check him out. And don't forget the new Aventus airbrush by Gallery has just been launched. It's, from what I hear, a terrific airbrush. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail on it because I have not tried it yet. So I don't want to say a lot without having tried it first. So, but anyway, go and check it out. And maybe you can send me a message and you can fill me in. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's head back to the workshop. Let's get some clear blue on this Corvette. Okay, I'll see you back there. Okay, gang, I went right back to the spray booth and the Corvette is here. It's ready to go. Here's our paint right here. It's mixed 1-to-1. Okay, just to remind you, we are using a Tamiya X23. Okay, that's a clear blue. Alrighty, and that is mixed 1-to-1. With the Mr. Color leveling thinner. Okay, so I'm going to shoot this today with the Gallery Mobius 0.3 airbrush. All right, and let's get right to it. We'll put the paint right in here. All right, and I will do my test shot. Make sure everything is working. That appears to be working pretty well. I'm shooting at 20 PSI. All right, so let's get right to it. All right, now I'm pulling back about a third of the way. All right, because this is an acrylic. The X23 is an acrylic. So you need to go on very lightly. All right, so all I'm concerned with right now is not necessarily the color. What I'm concerned with is getting something on here so the next pass has something to grab onto. All right, so very lightly. Okay, again, I'm pulling back about a third of the way on the trigger. All right, and I'm going to keep this moving, keeping it moving. All right, because if I don't do that, hang on, I'm going to show you something. Hang on one second. Okay, so I ran and I got a plastic coated paper plate. Now, I've mentioned this in the past. Always test. I test on spoons, you know, for color and so forth. But I also get these plastic coated paper plates a lot of times for other kinds of testing, simply because it's a larger area. So I'm telling you that I'm doing this and I want to keep this moving. If you don't keep it moving, okay, you see, you're going to get a puddle. All right, if you go too slow, you see how that's kind of puddling there and starting to run a little bit. So you want to keep this moving. All right. So that's an important element with any acrylic paint. All right. Keep it moving. All right. And, you know, with a lacquer, for example, you know, you can maybe come in with a lacquer and you can pull much further back on the trigger and, you know, kind of go over it, you know, with a little bit more volume. You don't want to do that with acrylics. Okay, so again, I'm back here, pulling back about a third of the way on the trigger, just getting that first layer of paint down so I can grab onto something when I come in with the next layer. All right, and as we discussed, you want to get all angles. So, you know, pause every once in a while, take a look, get all angles, get inside here, get in there. Okay, you get what I'm saying? All right, see, even the license plate, you want to get into those little nooks and crannies. Turn it, Swing your elbow, all right, and turn things. And I'm hitting this thing. This camera mount is falling down again. Now, remember in the last video, I said I was going to order another camera mount as soon as I ended up the video. Well, I did, and it's on its way. And according to the tracking, it should be here, I think, tomorrow. So hopefully the next video I will have a new camera mount back here. Right, see, I'm turning it, I'm looking, I'm getting underneath, I'm getting all the angles here. All right, it's very easy to forget something because you didn't turn it and look. All right, and I'm out of paint. Out of paint. All right, let me pause this and reload. Okay, we've got brand new paint. Okay, we're all set. We're ready to go. All right, so let's get back to our Corvette. All right. And actually, that couple of minutes that I took to reload allowed me, or allowed the first layer to flash dry just for a minute. Okay. Pulling back on the needle. Well, I guess I am pulling back on the needle. I'm pulling back on the trigger just a little bit more now. All right. Going a little bit heavier, and I'm actually coming in a little bit closer with the airbrush. All right. And this looks like it's coming out rather nice. Keep your airbrush moving. Keep it moving. Okay. See, we got a little spot right up in here, right, where it doesn't seem to be as blue as the rest of the areas. So that's why you have to stop and look every once in a while. Okay. Here's another thing too. You know, particularly if you have a lighted spray booth. You know, sometimes you get a glare, and the glare mimics an area being sprayed too lightly. So take that into account. All right. And I think, you know, looking at this, I think that's about as far as I'm going to go with this. I think I'm going to put this right into the dehydrator. Get a little down there. Okay. Make sure you check all of your angles. See, right there in that wheel well. Okay, we missed that. And we completely missed this one. All right, so that's what I'm saying. It's important to look. Check all angles. Okay, let's check the other side. All right. All right, it looks like I got that. Down here could use a little bit more too. All right. And I think we're in pretty good shape. So I'll tell you what, let's set this down. And we will put this right into the dehydrator. All right. And hopefully in half an hour, our Corvette will be right back to where it was before I had to strip it. Okay, we're back here at the paint bench, and while that Corvette is in the dehydrator cooking, let's take the opportunity to discuss the application of acrylic paint. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about different paints and so forth. Specifically, are the Kaleido paints really as much as they're being spoken about? The difference with the Kaleido paints and other acrylic paints is that it has this reputation as being as good as a lacquer. Lacquer will give you a very nice shine, whereas traditional acrylics a lot of times will not be able to give you the kind of a shine you would get with a lacquer paint or an enamel paint. So I'll tell you what, let's take a look here. And let's see, okay? All right. Move that down just a little bit. I think we've got that in frame. I think we've got it in frame. Okay, good. All right, so here we have a number of enamel paints, okay? Testers, MCW, and Revell. Down here, we have some lacquer paints, Splash, Tamiya, and Pro Scale. All right, all of these have been shot with 2K clear, so they have a pretty nice shine, except for the Revell. I don't know why that wasn't shot with the 2K clear. This spoon has actually been sitting here for quite a while, and for whatever reason, it just never got shot with the 2K clear. So give this one a little bit of a break if it's not too shiny, all right? Over here, all right, we have our Kaleido acrylic paints, okay? And you can see the Testers blue and the liquid blue by Kaleido, we've got a pretty decent shine going for both of them. In my opinion, it's comparable, all right? When did you ever think you would get an acrylic to be comparable to an enamel with 2K clear on it, all right? Here is MCW Plum Crazy Metallic Purple, okay? And we have the Kaleido purple right here, okay? Again, our shine is really, it's again, comparable. It's right on the same level, all right? We have our lustrous orange, okay? And down here we have our metallics, right? These metallics also have been shot with the Kaleido clear gloss varnish. All of these have, right? This is not 2K clear. This is the Kaleido gloss varnish on all of this. And it rivals the 2K clear over here on the other side. At least I think so. So your Kaleido paints really do seem to stand up to enamels and lacquers that have been treated with the 2K clear, only you use the gloss varnish by Kaleido, all right? And you want to make sure that you do that, all right? Because I ran a test a while ago. I think I have shown this before. Here is the green oak metallic, and I shot that with 2K clear. And can you see the reaction? Okay, the 2K clear did not like the Kaleido paint. So stick with the gloss varnish by Kaleido. Okay, there you go. Stay with that with your Kaleido colors, okay? And that's the kind of a finish that you can get. So I'll tell you what, let's go back over to the paint booth. Let's try shooting a color. This is Kaleido, what is that? Turquoise. All right, let's try shooting that and let's see how we do with that, all right? Hang on. Okay, we're back over here at the paint booth, okay? I'm going to go with the Mobius, the Gallery Mobius 0.3. That's what we just used to shoot the Corvette. So hose is attached to it. It's ready to go, so we'll just stick with that, okay? And hopefully this camera mount will cooperate through the entire thing. The Kaleido paints are an RTU. All right, and I think I went over this in one of the other videos. Right, RTU stands for ready to use. Okay, RTU is ready to use. So that means you don't have to use a mixing cup. Okay, like I did with some of the other paints. I don't need this. All right, I'm going to take this and I am going to literally just pour it. Hang on while I unscrew this, guys. I'm going to literally pour this right into the airbrush cup. Okay, that's a pretty color. Look at that. I haven't even shot it yet, and I like it. Okay, I have not used this color before. I'm using it for the very first time. So I am going to see with you exactly what this color looks like. Now, in addition to that, I'm going to put just a little bit of the retarder thinner in there, okay? And RTU means you don't have to put anything at all into it, all right? I am going to put a little bit in here. When I say a little bit, I'm talking about literally maybe 2 drops, all right? So hang on, let me get a pipette. Okay, so in watching a lot of other videos where people are using the Kaleido, it seems to be a pretty universal sentiment that these tops on here are not really terrific. Nobody really is in love with these tops, including myself. All right. So the way I get around that is, okay, forget about that. I just unscrew it and I use a pipette. All right. And I'll just take a little bit into a pipette. All right. And I'm just going to literally put like 2 drops in here. 1, 2. That's it. All right. So that's my way of getting around this top that nobody seems to like. Let me also stop for 1 second and say something about this pipette. You know, before when I was painting the Corvette, I had a pipette laying on the paint bench, and I wasn't completely sure if it had been used before, so I threw it away. All right, remember, we get 300 of these if you get it from Amazon. Hold on. Remember I showed you this? There you go. You get 300 of these for 10 bucks. 10 bucks, you get 300, all right? You spend 20 bucks, you get 600. So if you, it's not really any detriment to throw these things away if you're not sure if it has been contaminated. If you're not sure, don't use it, because if there's any residual of anything in there, it contaminates your paint, okay? And the same holds true for things like this. Okay, like a cotton swab or something. If you're not 100% sure, now this is white and you can look at it and pretty much determine if it has been used before. But you know, sometimes if you're using something that's clear, okay, like I don't know, some thinner or a gloss varnish or something, it may not show up, readily unless you really, really look hard, all right? Bottom line I'm trying to get to is, if you're not sure, get rid of it, okay? I have an old saying, if in doubt, throw it out, okay? So here's our spoons. We're all set here. Our compressor is fired up. Let me turn on the spray booth, all right? I know it sounds like I'm underwater with this thing on. All right, let's give this a shot. My test spray, I'm at 20 psi. Let's see. All right. I am pulling back maybe about a quarter of the way at most, okay? I'm putting this on very lightly. All right, turning my spoon, okay? And actually, now I'm going to set that down. I'm going to let that dry for a minute. All right, I'm going to move on to my silver spoon. Same thing, okay? I'm going to just go over that very lightly just to get a base down, okay? That's it. Going to set that down. Going to move on to my next spoon. Same thing, okay? Pulling back only about a quarter of the way, keeping my airbrush moving, all right? That's it. Going to set that down. Let's try it on gold. I don't do gold too often, but I've got enough in here where I think I can get a 4th airbrush in, okay? And I am trying my best from behind this camera not to bang into this camera mount. All right, turn it. Okay, that's it. I'm going to set that down. Let's go back to our white spoon. This is the one we started with first, so it's been sitting there maybe close to a minute. Now we're going to come back in. I'm going to pull back on that trigger a little bit more, all right? And I'm coming in a little bit closer with the airbrush, okay? Now I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to go back to the silver spoon. What is this? Oh, this is the white spoon. Okay, that was the silver spoon I just did. All right, so this is the white spoon. All right, I'm pulling back again on the trigger a little bit more. Putting down a little bit more of a wet coat, a little bit of a heavier coat on that second pass, all right? Black spoon, all right? And I'm going to come in, same deal. Coming in closer with the airbrush. Pulling back on the trigger a little bit more. Giving it a little bit more of a wet coat, okay? We're not getting runs, which you would typically get with acrylics if you're not careful. This does go on like a lacquer if you go slowly. Now, when I say slowly, I don't mean go slowly like this. When I say slowly, I mean put on a little bit, set it aside, okay? Pick up your next spoon, set it aside. That's what I mean by go slowly. You want to pace yourself. Let's grab this one, all right? And keep it moving, keep it moving. All right? And we're not getting runs, we're not getting blotches. That's going on really very nicely, okay? Back over to my far left to pick up my silver spoon. I'm going to shoot this again now. And I'm about halfway on the trigger, and I'm in a little bit closer, giving it a nice wet coat, all right? And this is probably going to be the final coat on this silver spoon, all right? Back to the white spoon. Going to shoot this the same way, about halfway back on the trigger, all right? There you go. No runs. It's adhering very nicely. Oh, I got a piece of tape stuck on there. We're back to the black spoon now, okay? Same deal. About halfway back on the trigger. Keeping it moving, right? Keeping things nice and even, all right? Set that down. Over here to the gold spoon, all right? Keep it moving, keep it moving. All right, how's that? We're down to the last spoon with the last coat, and I just ran out. How's that for planning? All right, I'd like to tell you I planned it that way on purpose, but okay, and I'm hitting the camera mount again, but that's okay because we're all done. So we're going to throw this into the dehydrator with the Corvette. Hang on. Okay, well, just like in the last video, I'm going to close this out here because that camera mount is just, it's getting me crazy. So here's the Corvette, okay? And this will be sanded and it will be shot again. But so far, it looks like it's coming along pretty nice, okay? Not too shabby. All right, so we were down to the white plastic and we're right back again with our clear blue or candy blue. All right, and that's coming along rather nicely. Now, we went over the spoons inside, okay? I pulled these out of the dehydrator a little bit early, okay? These were only in for maybe about 10 minutes before I pulled them out. Take a look at that, okay? Now, obviously, there's no gloss varnish on this because you saw me paint it, and, you know, they're not completely dry yet, but it's coming out rather nicely, okay? And that is, like I said, without gloss varnish. And typically, you know, your acrylics are not going to give you a shine like that. And, you know, again, with no gloss varnish on that, it's pretty impressive. It's a nice color, I think. So anyway, I hope that was helpful in terms of how I apply the Kaleido. When I first got the Kaleido paints, you know, having the knowledge in my head that it was just like a lacquer, I initially sprayed it like a lacquer. And, you know, I had a little bit of a problem with it. It took me a little while to realize that, you know, you do need to treat the application of the paint more like an acrylic than a lacquer or an enamel, okay? And just, you know, light mist coats, only pull back about 1/4 of the way on the trigger for your first pass, and then you can pull back a little bit more for your additional passes and so forth. Yeah, not too bad. This is the, what did I pull out here? This is the black spoon, right? That's on the black base, right? And this one is the, oh, this is the gold. This is the gold. Okay, you know what? I literally opened up the door on the dehydrator and just randomly grabbed it. I didn't really look at what I was grabbing. So anyway, that is the black and the gold. Not too bad. Okay, so I'll tell you what, we're coming up on just about a half an hour here, so I'm going to wrap this up. If you want a shop card, okay, there's the email address, okay, as usual. All right, and if you're a content creator and you would like to swap shop cards, there is the mailing address. All right, and hit the subscribe button. Hit it, okay? Because I want to get up to 1,000 before Thanksgiving. I'm almost there. So hit that subscribe button for me and help me get there, all right? And hopefully, maybe by the next time we get together, I will have my Amazon codes all in place, and then you will be able to purchase gallery products on Amazon with my discount right there, PPMW, okay? You will be able to use that on Amazon to purchase all of your gallery products and Kaleido paints. So I just have to figure out, well, who am I fooling? I'm not going to figure it out. I'm going to get my son Jimmy to do it for me. So hopefully I'll get that done soon. All right. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.